we're more focused on young people. It doesn't mean that we don't interact with any kind of age bracket, but our focus really is on young people, equipping them with skills and the right mindset so that they can be successful. And when they are successful, they are able to ensure the success of their nation and their community, right? And this year we are focused on equipping people with skills. Now, I'm sure that all of you who are here, you either own your own business or you are working or something. I'm sure before you got the job that you were doing, you were asked to submit your CV. And basically, what they were asking you in your CV was for you to show that you had the skills that they required, right? So I always tell people that you are extremely irrelevant if you don't have skills. There's nothing you can do if you don't have skills. And the world is evolving very, very quickly. Even with artificial intelligence, things are changing. Industries are changing. The needs for people are changing. And so it means that as human beings, you must adapt. The skill of adaptability is a skill. The ability for you to be able to adapt very quickly. And that's why this year we've really focused on just talking about skills, the kind of skills that people need to develop. One thing I realized, especially if you are around the world, education around the world does not equip you with the kind of knowledge and skills that you need for the workplace. And so organizations like this, what we do is to be able to bring to you the kind of skills that you need, right? And today I'm partnering with an organization called Cardi Analytics, and we're basically going to be focusing on data analysis, right? For people who might be interested in what data analysis is about, you want to take a course on data analysis, that's basically what we're bringing to you today. But in addition to data analysis, we're also going to be talking about artificial intelligence, right? I'm sure that everybody has been hearing artificial intelligence, right? But it is not, in the world that we're in now, artificial intelligence is not a skill that is by the way. It is a skill that everybody, no matter what you are doing, whether you are a barber, whether you are an engineer, whether you're a lawyer, artificial intelligence is changing the way work is being done, right? A lot of human beings are going to be let me just use the word sacked because they don't understand or know how to use artificial intelligence. Now, there's a lot of fear around artificial intelligence, thinking that artificial intelligence will take jobs away from human beings. No. Those who know how to use artificial intelligence will take jobs away from those who don't know how to use it. So don't say, for instance, now I hear people say things like, I don't need to learn it yet. At least what I'm doing is not yet affecting it. Well, it's getting there. So it is important for you to equip yourself with the skills now. And so what we're going to be showing you today is, I'm going to be taking you through some slides on why artificial intelligence is important in our world today. And then we're going to also be talking about data analysis, what data analysis is about for those who are interested. And I really feel like everybody should be interested in data analysis because data is the new gold. Everything you are doing, every single thing. As we're here now, we're gathering data. Do you understand? But we're going to be explaining that, right? But it will be good to know the people who are here. So if you don't mind, you can please introduce yourself. Either you type. I like people who are bold and confident. So you can come up and say you want to speak, right? You put on your camera, you introduce yourself, what you do, who you are, where you are. So who wants to go? If you cannot speak, if you're not bold enough to come up and speak, then you can always just type. But I want to be able to know where people are joining from, your name, what you do. I like Paul, you've already raised up your hand. Because allow Paul to unmute. For the rest of us, please let's type. What's your name? Where are you located now? And what do you do? I just want to be able to get to meet you. Right, but please let Paul unmute and introduce himself. I like people who are bold. In this world, you have to be bold. So, if you're bold enough, put on your camera, come up, tell me your name, what do you do, and where are you located now? So, Paul, you can go ahead while I wait for other people to type. I can't see people typing, but it'll be good for you guys to please introduce yourselves.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Paul. How you doing?
Fine, sir. My name is Nathaniel Paul. I'm a copper serving in Lagos State, Nigeria. I graduated from the University of Benin. So, like I said, I'm a copper serving in Lagos State, Nigeria. Okay. Currently, I'm undergoing a training, so it's soft skill training to equip myself.
Okay. Are you interested in data analysis?
Yes, I'm interested in data analysis and to know more about AI, how to use it efficiently and productive to make work very easy for me.
Okay, amazing. Really, really glad to have you here. And I'm proud of you. I mean, you're already taking a course on your own to equip yourself, which is really important. That's good. Okay. Any other person, guys? Okay, I can see Adeshino Babatunde. You're from Ogun State. You're an entrepreneur. Okay, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Any other person wants to introduce themselves? Guys, you know that introducing yourself is your ability for you to talk about yourself. I would even like if you can just unmute, raise up your hand and unmute. I don't like people who are shy. It's not good to be shy. It doesn't pay you to be shy. Tell me your name. Your name. Where are you from? Right? And what are you doing? So I can see Victoria, you're from Enugu State, you're a student. What are you studying, Victoria? And additional, when you say you're an entrepreneur, what do you do? What do you do? If you can please tell me what you do. Right. So any other person wants to unmute and tell me their name, where you are from, or where you're located now, and what you do. Ugo, are you going ahead to tell me? Are you introducing yourself? Okay, go ahead.
My name is Ugochi. I'm based in the UK, and I have a very little knowledge of Excel. Let me put it that way to be on the safer side. So I don't have what I have now currently, cannot give me what I want. So I'm here to get the basic, not just basic, the advanced skill to be able to get what I think I deserve. Thank you.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Victoria, yes, you can unmute yourself if you want to. Please allow Victoria on mute.
Okay, hi, good evening. I'm Victoria by name.
Okay.
I'm from Enugu State. I'm a student of Institute of Management and Technology, studying estate management. I want to know more about data analysis and also AI, how to use the tools as well. Yes.
Interesting. Okay. That's beautiful. Nice to meet you. Okay. I think I have a feel of the people who are in the room. You're Matthias from Enugu State. You work currently with the slot. You've big interest in data analysis and also to understand much about AI and how it works. Okay. I get the feel of people. So I mean that's basically what we're going to be doing today. I think I should just okay, go ahead. Adeshola, right?
All right, sorry for cutting you. All right, okay. My name is Adeshola Oshinowo. Yes,
Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Adeshola Oshinowo. I reside in Lagos State. So I'm an aspiring HR, which I've been undergoing a training. I've had one today. So I have some basic knowledge in data analysis. Yeah, like I can say I'm intermediate, but I've been learning it in all ways. From different times I've been hearing and learning about it. A lot of you hear another way to do it for another person how to go about data analysis. So that is what I'm interested in it, and more so about the artificial intelligence tools. Like you said, that anyone that does not have a knowledge about artificial tools will sack him or her. So I need to know about it, and that is why I'm here. So thank you, sir.
Okay, that's very good. I mean, one thing I always tell people is you don't need, a lot of people are afraid of artificial intelligence, right? I think I'm already going into my session, but you don't need to be afraid. It's a tool. It's a skill that you need to learn. Once you know how to use it, you don't need to be afraid of it. It's not here to take away jobs from human beings, but it's here to make work more. It's here to make more faster, more effective, more efficient. So you need to learn how to use the tools. But if you don't learn how to use the tools, then somebody who knows how to use the tools will take the job away from you. Do you guys understand this? So I see Johnson graduate into fast-moving consumer goods. You've done AI and machine learning and certified. I like that. You've done Propel Jobberman soft skills, certified and now enrolled in AI and prompt engineering. I love this. Interested in using AI tools and data analysis. Johnson, I already just like you a lot because I see how you are passionate about your self-development, which is why we do what we do, honestly. You are Muyoba. You're an HR admin at Namibian Correctional Service. Oh, so you're in Namibia. That's interesting. And you're a student pursuing a BA in Youth and Community Development, and you're from Namibia. Interesting. Muyoba, I would like to meet you because I would like to do something in Namibia. right? And I love the fact that you're also interested in youth and community development because that's a passion for me. Okay, so let me just go right into it. But it's really nice to meet everyone. And let me just go right into it. Let me share my screen. I'll start with artificial intelligence, and then we would now move over to data analysis, right? Okay, so just to be sure, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, amazing. So basically, I'm going to be talking to you guys about why embracing AI is presently important. My name is Temi. I really don't know how to introduce myself, but you guys just know me as Temi. I'm the founder of this generation. I'm a lawyer, I'm a business analyst, and also an expert in artificial intelligence. I'll just stop there. I don't know how to introduce myself a lot. I'm learning how to, right? Okay, so basically what I'm going to be talking to you guys today is why learning the skill of artificial intelligence is important. And I put presently important. It continues to evolve, but I'm going to be showing you why it is important right now. So, okay, so I took this from a magazine called Inc. magazine, and you guys can follow them on Instagram. Now, if you guys read what it says there, it says CEOs are telling their employees to embrace AI or become irrelevant. Now, that is a very, very bold statement, but it is the truth, because if you do not embrace AI, now it's not even telling you that you should use AI, it's telling you to embrace it. A lot of people, especially in, I would say, Africa, or not even just in Africa, around the world, human beings are really skeptical. There was this data I was reading, and it was showing that a lot of people are skeptical about artificial intelligence for various reasons. One, some are afraid that it will take their jobs. Two, some are afraid that because of all these movies that people watch, that artificial intelligence will take over the world, and various conspiracy theories. Well, you see, I always define artificial intelligence as tools. These things were made by human beings, right? And they are tools that simply make work more effective, efficient, and faster. One of the advantage of using artificial intelligence is that it makes human beings to focus on important work. So rather than all this mundane work where, for instance, maybe you are a secretary in the office, they ask you to go and be, doing research, and rather than spending hours on research, with the understanding of how to use artificial intelligence tools in seconds, in minutes, you're able to do your research, you're able to get the document, whatever you've done, and you're able to submit it. So one of the advantages of learning or embracing artificial intelligence is the fact that you learn how to do more important work, and you reduce the time that you spend on doing mundane things. So one of the things I'm hoping this session will do for you is to tweak your mind to understand that it is time for you to embrace artificial intelligence, right? So this statement is a very bold one. I think that it's really important. You either embrace it or you become irrelevant, and that's the absolute truth. Now, Shopify's Toby and Fiva told their workforce that, I don't know if you guys know Shopify, but Shopify is like an online market. And they've told their workforce that understanding AI tools is more critical to your career and survival than ever before. And the reason why this is an important statement to everyone, not just even to their workforce, is because people who know how to use artificial intelligence tools will advance faster in their career. Let me tell you something. Some people now, if you want to create your CV, rather than sitting down and using 2 hours to just write your CV, all you need to do is to feed an AI tool with data about yourself. Now we're going back to data. I won't talk about data. I'll allow the second speaker to talk about data. Or you simply just tell the artificial, for instance, use ChatGPT, you tell it about yourself, and you ask it, I want to apply for this particular job. Help me to create a CV. And in seconds, it creates a CV for you. So you see how you are able to reduce the time that you spend on doing things that are not very relevant, so that you can focus more on doing things that are relevant. So that's why he mentions here that understanding, now it's not just about just knowing, but you understanding how these AI tools work is critical for your career and survival than ever before. And this is because the world is evolving. People are looking for people that can do things faster, that are more effective and efficient. Now, this is another statement that says, before asking for more headcounts and resources, right, teams must demonstrate why they cannot get what they want done using AI. So another advantage of artificial intelligence is that it reduces the amount of money that is spent on doing mundane things. You can just go now, again, using something like ChatGPT or Gemini, just go on the tool, right, and ask it anything. It will literally give you data. The time you are using to spend on, for instance, that's why some jobs now are no longer relevant. Do you know that AI tools can act like personal assistants? They can act like HR managers, right? So it's just for you to just ask it. So some companies now, they don't even want to, they want you to say, okay, before you come and tell me that we need money for this, they will ask you, have you first of all used artificial intelligence tools and it has not worked? So you see how important it is for you to learn how to use these tools. Now, Lukti argued that not using AI amounts to stagnation. Stagnation is almost certain, and stagnation is slow motion failure. If you're not climbing, you're sliding your road. So you see how people are comparing that if you're not using AI, you are literally stagnant in your life, career, business, or whatever it is that you're doing. This is how important these tools are. Now, you see this one, it says that it's a message that has been resonating for a while as fears of so-called AI agents capable of automating jobs descend on the corporate rank and file. Only now, though, top corporate leaders are publicly declaring the inevitable. So that you can't even escape from it now. Artificial intelligence is something that you must not just know how to use, but you must understand how it works. There is a way that artificial intelligence works, and you have to be able to understand it. Now, let me give you reasons why. One, I'm talking about why you need to understand and use AI. You know that, for instance, a lot of you might use ChatGPT, but I'm not even sure you understand how the tool works. There's something called large language model, right? That is the mind that things like ChatGPT works with. So in understanding, it's not just to just use the tool, but you need to understand how does this thing even work. When you ask it a question, for instance, when you ask it, give me my CV, or you ask it anything, how is it able to replicate? How is it able to answer you? Understanding the back end of these things is really important. It's a skill that you need. So it's not just you just going to ChatGPT and asking it questions, but when you ask it a question, why is it able to respond to you? So I wrote here that the ability to understand and use artificial intelligence in our present world is critically important for the following reasons. One, AI is really changing the dynamics of every kind of career. There's no career you're doing now, whether it is law, whether it is to the extent of barbing, to whatever it is that you're doing, artificial intelligence is changing the dynamics of it. So for instance, if you are I'm sure there's no business that you're doing now that you don't need publicity, online publicity, to be able to showcase this, to be able to showcase to your clients what you're doing, right? There are a lot of tools. So there's something called generative AI, which I'm going to speak about, right? That's the area of where you now see things like ChatGPT. Before, what we're using was predictive AI. Predictive AI still exists, right? Where things like Instagram. Have you noticed that whenever you look at things on Instagram, the things that you look at mostly on Instagram, you keep seeing it on your feed. That's called predictive AI. Because when you keep searching for something on Instagram, it is gathering, the algorithm is gathering the data. So for instance, if you're a woman and you keep searching for hair, every time you go back on Instagram, you keep seeing hair. And sometimes it will be as if, is this thing monitoring or maybe you are talking about hair, or maybe you are searching hair you didn't even search hair on Instagram, maybe you searched hair on another, maybe like Google or something. You will just begin to notice that on your Instagram feeds, you're seeing a lot of hair products, people who are selling hair. Then you'll now be wondering, I don't know whether it has happened to you before, that is it that this thing is listening to the things that I'm saying, or is it monitoring the things I'm doing online? That's called predictive AI. It's able to predict what it should show you because of all the things, all the footprints that you are leaving online. Now, people still use predictive AI, and that's what the things like Instagram use. But now we have moved over to generative AI, what generative AI does is you ask it a question and it gives you new content. So that's why you can ask things like Gemini, ChatGPT. Let me use ChatGPT because that's what everybody knows. You can ask something like ChatGPT, I want to start a business I want to start selling something. How do you think I can go about it? And from the question that you asked it, it will now begin to give you ideas. It is generating new content based on the question that you asked it. Now, there's now a third phase called agentic AI. That one now, it's a higher level where all you need to do is to, for instance, if you want to book, maybe you want to travel, you can create an agentic AI that can help you book your ticket, to help you book your hotel. That's another level again, right? And then we now begin to talk about things like robots and all these kind of things, where these things now have bodies. When it's artificial intelligence, they are minds and they have bodies that they are now carrying out tasks. So you see why it is important, because it's changing the way the workplace is, right? Right now, let me use the examples of some jobs. For example, a lot of roles like, let me just use personal assistant, is going out of extinction because all you need to do, we have things like reminders, Google reminders and all these things. Because really, really, what does a personal assistant do? Remind you of the fact that you have a meeting, help you type out maybe respond to your emails, type out your maybe letter or something. Right now, all you need to go to do on ChatGPT is, I want to draft a letter to this particular person, help me draft it out. It will draft a letter for you. All you need to do is, and in fact, you can even tell it to put it in Word for you, put it in PDF, all those things. So you see how, if you don't know how to use the tools of artificial intelligence, it is literally going to make you, like the word said, irrelevant. Right. Another reason why artificial intelligence is important is because it makes work more effective and efficient. Right. When you are working, you are more effective. Because, for instance, if you are working and your boss should ask you, do a research for me on something. Usually, if we didn't have artificial intelligence, if we don't know how to use the tool, you can use like an hour to do research. But all you need to do now is just go on any of the tools and say, I need to do research on this, blah, blah, blah. And it will just bring it out, right? But there's something called prompt engineering. That is the ability for you to be able to know how to ask. That's why it is a skill, because you need to know how to ask these tools questions, because it is the way you ask it a question that it will respond to you. Right, so there are various reasons why you need to understand how artificial intelligence works and why you need to use it, because it's time and resource spent on carrying out mundane tasks are saved. It allows humans to focus on more important things. The use of artificial intelligence makes work faster. It impacts the job and the economy. It empowers innovation. So some of you who want to create business, who you want to set up something, you can always use artificial intelligence to be able to help you, give you ideas, right? Now, this was what I was talking about, the types of AI. We have the predictive, generative, and agentic, right? And basically what in the course that we're going to be doing, what I'm going to be focusing on is basically teaching generative AI and agentic AI. This agentic AI, you basically would create an AI that would do your work for you. All you need to do, just tell it, I'm going out today, help me, or I want to go to the grocery, help me order the thing online, and it will do it for you. This one, it's not like generative AI where it will just be responding to your questions. Agentic AI, they do things for you. I hope you understand this. You have the opportunity to ask questions. Some of you can do it. Now, so AI is created by humans to perform specific tasks just like any tool. Now, I try to make people understand that you don't have to be afraid of artificial intelligence. One thing I've realized about people, once they hear artificial intelligence, is fear. You don't have to be afraid. You just need to learn how to use it. It's just a new skill that the world has introduced. All you need to do is to embrace it, sit down, understand it, understand how it works, learn how to use it, and use it to your benefit. Right. So whether it's predicting, generating, or acting on its own, AI is still something we can use to achieve goals. Even advanced AI systems like robots or chat assistants are ultimately tools to help human beings work more effective. That's basically, so if you can break it down, first of all, because I like to break things down. First of all, just understand that there's nothing complicated about AI. It's just a tool. There are tools that help me make my work more effective. There are tools that help me think faster. There are tools that help me to save time. There are tools. They're just tools. They're not human beings. They were all created by human beings. And that's where, because another thing we're going to be doing in the course that we prepared is that we're going to be teaching people soft skills. That's why with the way artificial intelligence is increasing, a lot of people, if you're a human being that wants to work, beyond learning artificial intelligence, a lot of people are asking for people that have soft skills like critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, resilience, communication, right? That is soft skills now. And when I say soft skills, those are examples of soft skills. Those are things that make human beings more effective at work. Because for instance, let me just quickly talk about why things like critical problem solving is important, right? Now, you learn how to use AI tools, right? Now, one of the things that AI tools will help you do is that it will always give you answers. But now it is up to you as a human being to take the answers that it gives you, and then you know how to use it to be able to solve a particular problem. So for instance, maybe you are working as maybe an HR manager, and then your boss says that, see, we're having problems recruiting people. You can ask ChatGPT or ask any tool, my company is having a problem recruiting people. How do I solve this problem? It will give you a response. It will generate answers for you. It's now up to you to be able to use your own mind as a human being to be able to say, okay, my boss says that we're having this problem, right? I have the answer that AI has given me. I've been able to use AI to generate answer instead of thinking. Now, you now use your mind as a human being with your own understanding, and that's where problem solving comes to say, okay, how can I solve this problem with the information that I've gotten, right? And the problem that I know, how do I now go about solving the problem? That is what makes you relevant as a human being. So you see how you've used AI, you have a problem, you used AI, AI has helped you make the work easy, and then you go about solving the problem. Because at the end of the day, AI is not going to do the work for you. You still have to do the work. It just makes the work easier for you, right? Now, what we'll be focusing on will be generative AI, and that's where you see, so generative AI is text, audio, image, video, and then their productivity tools. So everybody knows ChatGPT. That's the one that generates text, right? So when you ask it something, it will write out things for you. Now, they're allowing you to also generate pictures. But there are other tools. So for instance, if you are maybe you are a graphic designer, right, where you generate a lot of images, you want to learn how to use tools like Grok, Midjourney. These are tools that help you to be able to generate images. However, one of the reasons why a lot of people don't know how to use these tools is because there's something called prompt engineering. What prompt engineering is, the simplified term or simplified meaning of prompt engineering is the command that you give these tools. Because you have to first of all ask, before it can give you a response, you have to ask it something first. Prompt engineering is a course on its own. How do you prompt something like ChatGPT so that it can give you, there's something called input, output. The input is what you ask it to do. The output is what comes out based on what you ask it. In the middle of all of this is called a model, right? The model is the let me just use the thing that makes the tool to be able to think. So when you say, for instance, I want you to create a CV for me. I'm applying for a role. I'm applying for a HR manager role. I want you to create a CV for me. You give it the job description, right? Now, what these tools will do is that, and it does it in seconds, the model will begin to work. And then because of what you have asked it, the specific thing that you ask it is what it will give you answer. So sometimes maybe you've used ChatGPT and it did not give you a proper response. It's because you did not ask it the proper thing. So that's why it's important for you to learn how to ask. There's a way to ask the tools questions. You don't just say, no, you have to be specific. There's something called promptless prompting. There are different kinds of prompting, which in the course of the course, I will show you, right? There are different kinds of prompting. So depending on what you want, depending on the kind of things that you do, if it's only text, where you want to just ask a question and you want it to generate text for you. If you want audio, right now, if you're somebody that creates content and you don't want to, maybe you don't like your voice, or you don't want to use your voice, there are tools that you can use. All you need to do is that you just give it the content, and it will begin to speak for you, and you can use it, right? There are images. For those of you who, as I've said, are graphic designers, or you create a lot of images, there are a lot of tools. You just need to know how to prompt it, right? If you do videos right now, if you don't even want to use your face again, right? There are various tools where you can also just create an image or a video that looks like yourself. You basically just, and it will be talking. So all of these things is just about prompting. Now, and for those of you who maybe want to run a business and you want to learn how you want to build your brand, there's a tool called Looker. For instance, if you are running a business, a service business, or if it's for a product, there's a tool called Brandmark, right? It will help you to be able to it will help you with your branding. So we're in a world where right now you don't have to waste so much money. You don't have to do so much for you to be able to put yourself out there. You just need to learn how to use these tools. Now, as I've said, there's now another level of AI called agentic AI. I don't know how many of you have heard of agentic AI, but that's now an improvement of generative AI. This one now is like almost like a human being. You create it yourself and it will do things for you. All you need to do is, if you want to travel, you just tell it, I'm traveling on the 24th of August. I need you to be able to book my ticket, and it will do everything for you. For those of you who run businesses, maybe you want to, if you like, for instance, now you don't want to be responding to every kind of message, so people can send different kinds of messages, right? All you need to do is to create a chat bot. And that chatbot, once people send a message, it will respond automatically for you. So you see how, rather than spending time responding to 100 messages, you can focus on doing more things, while the chatbot called agentic AI will just help you respond to people's messages if you have clients. So these are the things that we're going to, so we basically put a course together for you guys, and these are things that we're going to be teaching how to use these tools to your own benefit, whether it's a career, business, whatever it is that you're doing, right? You're going to learn how to use these things. So I think I would stop here, and I would allow Victor go ahead with data analysis, and then we can now ask questions. So if you have any questions, just note them. At the end of this, then you can ask your questions. Is that okay? But let me just get the feel from the room. Do you guys get what I've said? Do you guys understand what I've said? I just want to be able to get people's. Do you guys understand what I've said? Do you guys get what I've said? Are you lost in any way? I can see move like a Terminator. Yes, so that's where we are getting to. You guys understand what I've said? Are you lost in any way? Is there anything you want to get clarification on? I know that there will be a section for questions and answer, but let me just, okay, fine. I love that you guys get it. So I'm just going to allow Victor to go ahead, talk about data analysis, and then at the end of this, then we can have questions and we will respond. Okay, Victor, go ahead.
All right, wonderful. Welcome everybody, and thank you so much, Timmy, for that amazing session. I actually also learned a lot again, hearing all these things. You can never get tired of hearing the right information. Sometimes you might feel like, oh, I already know it, but if you pay attention, it will help connect pathways in your mind, and then you think a step higher than you thought before. Anyways, so my name is Ambassador Victor, and I will introduce myself more shortly. Okay, so just a second. Let me share my screen. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, wonderful. I believe everybody can see my screen right now. Okay, wonderful. This is how I want to see it. Beautiful. Okay. So once again, welcome. Thank you for taking the time out to join our session. We don't take it for granted. We are actually appreciative of your time. We're just going to go a bit more into this skills workshop that we invited you to. And yeah, I'll be your host for this second segment. Now, a few things we'll be talking about. Yeah, a bit about career analytics. Of course, we are partnering with this generation. I am a team player, so I usually like activities where I get to partner with people with like minds. So that's what brought us together on this journey. And I'm also passionate about teaching people and taking people to the place they need to be, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. So like I said, a brief description about cardio analytics, then you get to know a bit more about me so that you can say, okay, yeah, that Victor guy, I've heard about him before. And then you know a few more things to say about me. Then we'll talk about what data is, take a good look at how it's helped us in our current world. And of course, you now get to ask yourself, who then is an analyst, a data analyst? What does he do? And then I'll then walk you through to our value propositions for you. Okay. All right. So basically, Cardi Analytics is a consultancy firm, a business data and strategy consultancy firm. And we're also into IT solutions and of course into data related trainings, all right, which you will be knowing more about in the process of this slide presentation. Okay. So in simple terminology, we help organizations find out the gold mine out of the information or data they've been creating over time. Because somebody can be sitting on something valuable. If he's not aware of the value, he can't take advantage of it. Correct? Yeah, we agree. So, like I said before, my name is Ambassador Victor. I like to smile a lot. It's actually not on the slide, but it's just an extra fun fact. My primary education degree is in petroleum engineering, but that's the old oil money, right? So at one point, I thought, why don't I hop into the new money? Because data is actually the money of the 21st century. There was a season where if you studied petroleum engineering, you're the big boy. In fact, I think it's the baby boomers, that generation. When you say, oh, I studied petroleum engineering, they're like, yeah, you're the rich guys. But then if you come over to a millennial or a Gen Z or Generation Alpha and say, oh, I'm a data analyst, you're like, whoa, you're the big guys now. So I decided to move away from the baby boomer careers into the latest money-making venture, right? And it's also part of who I am. I'm quite analytical as a person, so it only made sense that I jumped into a career that has something similar to what I enjoy doing. So I'm the founder CEO of Cardia Analytics and Integrated Company Limited. I've helped train and coach over 1,000 Africans that are looking to transition into the tech space. I worked in that venture with, should I say, the big names in the industry. Currently, I'm consulting as a business strategy analyst in a marketing and FMCG firm. Okay, so now you can at least say you know something about me, because we asked you to tell us a bit about yourself in the beginning, and now you've heard something about me. So I'm glad to be at your acquaintance. Okay, so let's play a quick game, shall we? For some reasons, I can't really see my chats when we are talking, but okay, I think I'll ask the question and then I'll come back and share my screen so you can see the answer. So I have a nice riddle for you. Okay. So the riddle goes like this. It's a data joke. Okay. Even if you don't want to laugh, please try and laugh so that you give me good vibes and I can keep cracking data jokes. So my first joke goes like this. Why did the spreadsheet go to therapy? Anybody want to give an answer? Why did the spreadsheet go to therapy? You can put your answer in the chat. You can also unmute your mic and say something. I'm really interested in seeing
It
how
has so many issues to sort out.
has so many issues to sort out. Okay.
Overloaded with demands that you cannot meet at a time. The speed, the accuracy, and the weight of expectations.
Okay. I think it was okay. Yes. Any more? Anybody else? Try, at least try. Let's my dad joke work on you a bit. Oh, some people are saying they can't hear me. Can you all hear me clearly though? I want to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. It has issues to analyze. Wow, you guys are really smart. Okay. Any other person? I'll take two more people and then we'll go check the answer together. Two more people. Okay. Well, okay. Well, some of you were very close. So the answer is actually because it has too many issues with cells. So I hope you got the joke. There are so many cells, right? So I had to go for therapy because of too many issues with the cells. Anyways, I have one more. Hear me out. So this joke or this riddle is, why did the analyst cross the road? Why did the analyst cross the road? Anybody? Why did the analyst cross the road?
To analyze the other side of the road.
To analyze the other side of the road. I like the idea you're using to answer these questions, Chidi. I like the idea you're using to answer these questions. Ugochi says needed to get his distance faster. Okay. Oladayo says to get a new perspective on the other side of the data. Okay. Uyoba says to be able to understand the situation from the other side. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of other sides. Nice. Any one more person would like to try before I show you the answer? Oh my days. Curiosity to solve issue of the other path. Okay, Johnson. Let's see. Let's see why the analyst crossed to the other side. Okay, well, it's to get more data on the other side. So those of you that were talking other side, you were close. You were close. I think there was actually somebody that was a bit closer. I read the chat. But yeah, so the analyst crossed to the other side to get more data on the other side. Wonderful. Anyways, so let's go back to our semi-serious mode, or should I say serious mode. So who has ever heard about the word data? What comes to your mind when you hear data? Anybody? When you hear data, what comes to mind?
Incomplete information.
Incomplete? Why do you use the word incomplete?
I use the word incomplete because it's just a fragment. We put several data together to have an information. So every data is a missing part.
Okay. And now I get your perspective on that. Okay. But you would agree with me that in some cases you can't really call it incomplete because it would have what you need exactly. But there are possibilities where it might not have every single detail, but noting that some details are actually irrelevant to what you're trying to get. You see, so that incomplete is a bit of a controversial introduction to your definition. Okay, so I'm not saying you're wrong. There is a perspective where you are right, but I think it's a bit controversial if you put it that way. But yeah, great answer. Adeshola says data is raw information. Chigozerim says a raw fact. Olana says a substance. Samuel says figures. What do you mean by figures? Victoria plays safe and says information like words and synonyms. I like that. Okay. GB. Oh my days. Oh my days. Someone has really gone off on us. Gigabyte for browsing. Interesting. Okay, that's true anyways in our local lingo. All right. So what is accepted worldwide though is that data is structured or unstructured information. And when it becomes structured, it's in something like a table, right? When it's unstructured, it's something like you writing a letter to somebody. It's data, it's information about something, whatever it may be, but it's not in such a way that it is demarcated by lines in a tabular form, right? So it's still data, but it's not structured. Okay, so when you hear structured data, it just means data with rows and columns, basically. And that's what we have when we use tools like Excel. All right. So, and this data is processed, analyzed, and after you process it and analyze it, you get some insights that can support your decision making, basically. Now, it is the increasing exposure of our world to stored data. I cannot say it's the increasing exposure of our world to data because ever since Adam came up the scene and then civilization started to spread, man has been keeping track of data, right? If you notice, there are some caves. If you watch National Geographic Channel, there are some caves where you see like certain animals carved with some number of human beings. The Sumerians had their way of doing numerics and they stored information that way. The Egyptians had their own calligraphy where they tell a particular story with symbols and pictures. That's also data. Do you see? But somebody comes on the scene and he now knows how to put the pieces of the data together to make meaningful information that we can take decisions from. That's where the data analyst comes in. Now, I'm not saying only the data analyst works on data. That would be wrong. There are many other people that work with data. There's the business analyst that works with data. We have data engineers who even make sure that we have access to the data in the first place. So he's in charge of creating the pipeline. Simple terminology pipeline is like he just connects us from the main source of the data to where we can actually work on it, process it, and analyze. Okay. So I'm not going to bore you with the many things and packages that is involved in data analytics, but I just want to give you a reminder. I like to use the word a reminder because some of us, we already have a mental picture of these things, right? So data has greatly helped our world, or should I say the consciousness and the conscious use of data has helped our world to improve decision making, right? So data helps organizations to even know whether they should sack staffs or hire more. So even in HR now, human resource, they don't just stick with your years of experience of working directly with employees or staff. They actually need your ability to use data so that you can make more efficient and effective decisions in terms of the employees in an organization, right? So data has also helped, exposure to data has also helped in optimizing efficiency in farming, in business, in healthcare. You know, one of the main things that even blew the horn of data, people don't know, but one of the main things that blew the horn of the importance of data was COVID in 2020. So it started 2019, but of course it was a debacle. We've long known that it was a fraud. Some people took advantage of the system. But one of the ways, people don't know, the lockdowns you had, that lockdown, you say you're staying for 2 weeks. The reason for the lockdown was data. Someone took data, plotted a graph, gave, I don't know if it's a deliberately erroneous submission, right? As I grew in the data field, I got to know that, okay, some decisions were erroneous. They looked at the data the wrong way, because in looking at data, you require context, okay? But now, based on data, people were asked to stay at home. So if you think that data has not influenced our world, you maybe haven't really thought deeply about it, because it actually did guide a lot of government policies. So if you were listening to maybe Boris Johnson in the UK in 2020, he said, looking at the data, everybody's like, looking at the data. Fauci is like, looking at the data. Wonderful. Anyways, so then, of course, it supports innovation, drives automation and smart technologies, Internet of Things, right? It's also steered by data. Now, I want you to just take a quick look. Now, this dashboard, for example, is derived from this guy on the left. Now, the data analyst is the reason why this guy would come forth from this guy. Looking at this guy on the left, this Excel spreadsheet, looks innocent. You can tell there are some numbers there. There's some price. What does it really mean? At first glance, you can't really tell. But the moment you've given the data to a data analyst, he's done his magic, comes up with a dashboard on the second side, and you're like, okay, so this is what that other spreadsheet was all about. You see, and then you can take better decisions. All right. Now, just a little glimpse into the future of the data analyst career. Like I did mention previously, there are a lot of careers. In fact, so many nomenclatures coming on now. You see, for example, in some company, a company like Google, for example, doesn't use the terminology HR analysts for the HR person, right? They use something like people analysts. Yeah, so there might be different nomenclatures, but there is a very bright future for data analysts. The markets might be a bit more competitive. Yeah, you have to work a bit more than everybody else, have some unique skills that everybody else doesn't have. But primarily, according to an organization called Growth Tribe, they've been able to cite that the US Bureau of Statistics projects a 23% growth in data analyst roles between 2021 to 2031. Actually, some institutions actually say 2032. However, those are predictions based on data at the same time. You see, so the everything now is almost undoable without data. You can't even predict the future without data. Let me say something a bit controversial for some. The Bible, I'm a Christian, right? The Bible, to me, I feel the Bible is like data science. I'll tell you why I think so. So you see that there are some things in the Bible, do this, do this, do this, and you'll get this, this, this. So it's training you, right, with 80% of material, or maybe 70%, and then it will test you with the circumstances of life. So if you have been trained well with what is in the Bible, when the real circumstance of life comes, you will have a better and higher accuracy. I hope you get the drill of what I'm saying. So even God operates with data. I'm still trying to say that data is very important. Okay, now, another institution called Jesup University have actually also predicted that from this year, 2025, the world will be generating over 463 exabytes of data daily. Now, exabyte is over terabyte. So if you've not heard of terabyte before, you can Google it, but exabyte is over terabyte. So imagine how much data, and it says daily, not even monthly or weekly or yearly, it's daily. That's a whole lot of data, right? And there are opportunities for you. Now, we will not come here and put to your face that you're going to do a course with us. We're going to prepare you. You're going to get a job. That's a bit myopic, if you think about it. One of the reasons why project works were even done in universities and institutions initially when they started, it was so that people will get used to solving problems, or they will at least have a theoretical feel of a particular problem they wanted to solve, being the reason why they even chose the degree they did in the first place. Then from that idea, they bring solution to the everyday world, and in exchange for that value, they make money. We know that the system has gone a bit in reverse, but I'm just saying, don't think that we are training you, or we will, if you decide to come on board, don't think we want to train you so that you go get a job. That's beautiful if you want to get a job. But if you'd also like to start a business in data consulting, why not if not? You could be the next price water company, right? What's PwC, right? You can be the next KPMG. You can. JP Morgan, why not? You see? And just to, the eye cannot see what the mind does not know. So just to water your appetite a bit. I know the salary is not the same in Nigeria, trust me. But on average, if you are living in America or Europe, on average, entry-level salary from when starting in infancy and then to 3 years, you're worth about $61,000. That's about 50-something thousand pounds anyways. But on average, you see, and then mid-level for data analysts, about $74,000 upwards. Senior level, 89,000. For some, they get close to about 150,000. Especially those who are privileged to work in hedge funds and the rest, right? In Nigeria, it starts at about 70,000 naira. That's those companies, maybe they've not made a lot of money, or they just want to give it a feel. So they start at about 70,000 naira to like 150,000 entry level. Then the mid level, they go close to 200 to about 400,000. Of course, senior level. And for you to even be senior level, you're probably dabbling a bit into data engineering. So you get a feel of that, and you start to enter 500,000 to a million, 1.5 million, depending on the generosity of the organization that employed you. And in some countries in Africa, let's say like Kenya, I think I've heard of organizations that also pay in the close to $1,000. Yeah, so it depends on the organizations you enter anyways. So in case maybe which company will employ me if I really want to get a job, some companies actually employ from other countries because it's cheaper. So you can consider IKEA, NHS, Shell, Total, PwC, Meta is the Facebook, right? And Google, Amazon. Of course, Kuda doesn't only have a branch in Nigeria. They also have a branch, I think, in South Africa. So they actually also employ remotely. Now, all these things I've said, these are general knowledge, right? These are general knowledge. But I'm coming to the point where I say we can assist you on that journey. Okay, we can assist you on that journey. Now, we're not going to do everything for you, of course. Everybody has to take responsibility for their own life, right? But we are walking with you on the journey. Now, you can't really find any training course that does all the trainings all at once, like does all the data analytics tools all at once. And you can't find any. So what we look to do is this. We decided that we would help whichever participant is willing to specialize in a particular training under a particular tool. Because if you've noticed, there are several organizations and then they have their separate tools. They do almost the same thing, right? But they are different tools just to give them some level of independence, right? So we have several data analytics courses, right? Because we are focusing on data analytics, right? But then we also went a step further and added soft skills trainings and also AI inclusive trainings. So by the time you're coming out of the program, let me check, someone is saying something in chat. Okay. Now, by the time you're coming out of the program, you have sufficient skills to take steps on your own, and you won't be dependent on jobs alone. You know, success can be defined as looking for a need and solving it or meeting the need. That's actually success, you see. So we equip you with the tools that bring out the success in yourself. If you classify success just as getting a job, is also fine. It's a good thing. But if you classify success as starting up a business that solves businesses' data involved challenges, that's also good. You see, so thinking a bit outside the box, not the normal mindsets in the areas that we live. All right. So some of the deliverables we have the Microsoft Data Analytics course. In the Microsoft Data Analytics course, we're teaching the Microsoft suite, right? There's the Excel, Power BI, SQL Server, and then you will get a demo exposure to Microsoft Fabric. It's called a demo exposure because if you don't have a company email, you will not be able to access it. Microsoft will not give you access to that. So it's a demo because you will just be exposed to that information. And then part of the course too is the soft skills and AI that will be handled by my colleague, Temi. So the current price deliverable is £20. Of course, we know that if you were to convert that amount into Naira, it's higher than what is on the screen. But we are a firm that's looking to add value. So we don't mind going at a loss to a certain degree, just making sure that everybody can have access to education that they need. Okay, then same goes for the Google Data Analytics course. You get to learn Google Sheets. Google Sheets is getting popular now. Some of you don't know. Kuda actually uses Google Sheets. They use Google. They are a bit into the Google bias, right? So you get to learn Google Sheets, Google Looker. Google Looker is the Power BI version. Okay, Looker is their Power BI, right? It's their business intelligence tool. And then you get to learn BigQuery. BigQuery is like the SQL of the Google space or the Google ecosystem. And then, of course, For Tableau, of course, you're doing 5 projects, and you have series of assignments. Now, all these courses, you will have assignments, but you have 5 major projects in different fields, and then you will still go through the soft skills. All our courses include soft skills and artificial intelligence trainings. All. You can't find any institution on the face of the earth that does exactly what we do. You see, they don't mix data analytics and soft skills and artificial intelligence training. There is none like that. So I would say we are privileged to bring this to you, but at the same time, your ears are privileged to hear it first, because we are bringing it into the world first time, and you are the first to hear it. All right. So those are the price deliverables on the business intelligence. Is just, you see, business intelligence is actually using special tools for data analysis, right? So that's what brings the Power BI together with the Tableau and then the Google Looker. Of course, like I said, the soft skills will be on it, and then the AI tools for training, prompt engineering, and the rest. So, and I know some people might look at it and like, oh my days, this is quite not expensive. Yeah, I know you were expecting it to be about £1,000 because lots of trainings now are very high. That's true, but we are actually looking to add value at affordable rates. So we are not looking to rip your pockets off. No, that's not it. We're more interested in the value we can add to you and how that value can also be multiplied into society, you know. So there is still a good news, at least if you're joining this meeting today, you have the opportunity to get a 15% discount. Now, this discount is valid only for between today and Monday. Okay, between today and Monday. We'll be sending you a link to the chat shortly. The link is to help you go and register for the program. Maybe you might want to ask a few questions afterwards and to help you decide whatever you want to do. But this discount is going to last for the duration of today through Monday. After Monday, we revert to the original price standing, as it were. So make haste while the sun rises, right? All right, so at this period, I'd like to say thank you so much for giving us a listening ear, and I will stop sharing my screen for right now and hand over to Tammy, and can take over the questions and answer segments. Yeah, thank you kindly. Okay, so I'm handing over. I think you can help Tammy unmute his mic. Thank you kindly, and thank you everyone for paying attention.
Okay, thank you very much. Dozie, you not allow me on mute. Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Let's start with questions. And just to start, you can, so there's this form I dropped. If you are even just have an interest in learning about data analysis, don't think about money. Don't think about it. Just fill that format first, right? I never know, there might be scholarship opportunities, there might be things, but like I've said, our goal really is to equip people with skills this year. And as much as I can, I will do what I can, right? So if you are interested, you have interest, just fill that form first, and then we can talk about other things. But do you have any questions? If you have any questions, like I said, I like people who are bold. So raise up your hand or mute yourself, put on your camera and ask your questions. Boldness, confidence is a skill, and this is how you begin to learn it. So if you have any questions, please raise up your hand, or you can type it if you want to. But feel free, let's ask questions. I mean, you can't have heard all these things and you don't have questions. Asking questions too is a skill. The ability for you to be able to be inquisitive. You want to know things, it's also very important. I mean, that's how you solve problems, actually. So if you have any questions, raise up your hand, or you can just type it if you know you're not comfortable coming up to speak. Anybody have any questions? Or do we all understand? If you understand, to give me, like, I want to be able to get, like, okay, you have a question. Habib, do you want to unmute yourself or you want to type your question? How many training classes to cover for the period? Okay, I will allow Victor to answer that. Habib, you want to unmute yourself. So Dozie, please allow Habib to unmute himself or herself. I don't know if it's her or he. And please introduce yourself, tell us what you do, where you are located, and then just ask your question. You can unmute yourself now, I think. So Ugo would answer that question. But let me just
good afternoon. Okay, please, my name is Abib once again. Then I reside in Lagos, here now to be precise. Then on mainland. So I want to know, like, is about the data analysis. How do you run it? Is it something we can discuss here? How do you run it? Do you run it per mentioned that we have several skills? Do you charge per skills or you charge in full? And how much do you charge? And is it something we can discuss or we can discuss this outside of this program? Thank you so much. Really appreciate. And do you also have any office in Lagos for physical class? Or you also have virtual class? Just you can, I would be glad if you can also shed more light on that. Thank you so much.
Victor, did you get his questions?
Yeah, I think I got a few.
Okay, so we can just answer Ugo and Habib's.
Okay, so thank you so much for those questions. So the program, let me start from Ugo's question, right? The program will last a duration of 3 months, right? You have all these trainings put together. If you notice, there are different kind of trainings. There's for Google Data Analytics, there's for Microsoft, which means Microsoft related tools, data analytics using those tools. Google Data Analytics, that's data analytics using Google owned tools, right? Data analytics using Tableau and PostgreSQL. Of course, all these courses, like I mentioned before, we have infused in them periods and sessions where we do soft skills classes, but you do the proper technical class segments because it's not just your technical skills that get you a job, okay? The soft skills also matter. It's even the soft skills you use in the interview and convincing people that you are worthy of the job that they might want to give you, okay? Now, it runs for a duration of 3 months, like I've mentioned, plus the final project you're going to get, and of course, you're going to get a certificate to that effect once you're done, right? Now, yes, we do have a physical office here in Lagos, okay? Here in Lagos, we have a physical office. So if you are interested, you can also fill in the form, put in your details, and I think you can also reach out to us. We have an email. It's called cardianalytics1@gmail.com. So you can send us a mail if you have some more personal questions you'd like to ask. No problem about that, really. So I think I answered Go's question about the duration. I answered Abib's question about if we have a physical location and how the courses run. I think, do you both agree I've answered that question? Is something still unclear that I need to clarify? Okay, thank you kindly.
All right.
Right?
Can I ask my question?
Yes, go ahead, Chibi. Go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the classes. My question is this. I'm not new to data analytics. I'm experienced in Excel, Power BI, and MySQL. So I'm not actually a beginner, and I don't know how your classes have been structured.
Okay.
Is there a time or is there a program for people who want to go deeper, advanced classes? So I'm looking out for advanced classes. Can you throw more light on what your advanced programs look like? Do you have them?
Okay. Well, we focus primarily on helping people that have not a lot of knowledge in data analytics. Now, for advanced classes, that is something that is discussed on a different level. It's like several companies that sell cars. There are some cars that are sold to a selected few, right? Some, for example, Rolls-Royce, right? There are about 4. They produce almost 4 every year, or maybe every 4 years, right? So limited copy. So if that is what you are looking to do, then that can be arranged for you personally, but that's not our primary goal. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So, but as an addition to that, maybe just the data analytics might not be what you're looking for, and you also want to maybe take advantage of the artificial intelligence training and just soft skills alone, since maybe you feel you are above the grade of the basic data analytics, right? Then that can also be arranged. Now, I say that because there is also a constraint of time. You see, there's also a constraint of time. So we like to manage the people that we have access to. So if what you want is an advanced course, like I said, just show your interest, maybe with a few commitments, and then we will work together with you on creating such a scope. But might I ask, what tools are you versed with anyways? What
All
tools
right,
are you versed with?
I'm
And
versed
what,
with
okay,
Excel.
sorry, if I can add something extra. What tools are you versed with? And what do you categorize as advanced?
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm versed in Power BI,
Okay,
MySQL,
okay,
and Excel.
okay.
Then advanced for me, I'm looking out to see how far I can go into data engineering. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then business analytics, not the usual business analytics we know, more like something better than a pivot table and a pivot chart.
Mhm. So that's
You
that's
get-
that's delving towards data science and data engineering. I had a feeling that that's the angle you were going to, you see. So if you notice, we stuck close to data analytics. It's a deliberate thing, okay? But like I said, if data engineering or data science is where you want to pander into a bit, then we can arrange that for you. Of course, it will be at a different package than what you see on the screen, but also very affordable, because we try not to put money in front of everything. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
All right. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay. So Chidi, I mean, you can always just send a message. I mean, we can always just um put something together for you. The goal really is really beyond all of this. The passion really is for you guys to be equipped with the right kind of skills, right? And like we've said, you see most of the courses that you see, you'll be hearing just, but that's what we're doing. We're going a bit further to not just teach you people how to use these tools, but also we're equipping you with AI and also soft skills, right? Just so that if you want to start a business, or you want to go before you're going to get a job and you want to do an interview, you know how to present yourself in such a way. And with these skills, you don't have to, you can be in Nigeria if you want to be and be working in the US, in the UK, in Canada. I know people who live in Nigeria, and just because they are data analysts that know how to use artificial intelligence and know how to present themselves, they are working in companies. And sometimes these people even get sponsored just because of the skills, the extra skills that they have, right? And like you would always hear us say, when you don't only have to go and search for a job, we need more people to set up companies. So you can set up like a data analyst company. You can begin to consult for businesses as a business analyst. You can also use your artificial intelligence skills. You know, do you know that people earn money from just teaching how to prompt ChatGPT? People just do that and they earn a lot of money. So most of these things are skills that, in fact, Chidi, just by teaching, I saw a job application this afternoon. All they want you to know is they're looking for a person who knows how to use Power BI. That's all. And I think they are paying about 200 and something pounds per day just for Power BI alone. Just for Power
Please
BI.
send that my way. They're gonna have more than the package for. Send that my way.
So I mean, these skills, just learning how to use these skills, you know, you can just start creating content and people will pay you for it, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, really important, right? So if you have any other questions, if you're on the group, I think that I don't know if most of you are on this generation group, but you can always ask. I know some people have asked for cybersecurity. We're also trying to do something around that. I'm hearing people asking for data engineering. I'm hearing a lot of people asking for project management. So we'll try and get people who would come and teach these things, right? Well, you know, it's hard to have these things for free, right? You know, because people charge for these things. But we'd really try our best and see what we can do, honestly. I see Ugo is raising up her hand. Ugo, you can go ahead to ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, Timmy. I was asking, since it's like, I don't know, how do we, because sometimes I don't know what classes of training you have, either is it weekdays or weekends? I don't know how you're structuring your classes schedules. Is it weekend or weekdays or both?
Okay, that's actually good. So for those that register, we go deeper in that conversation with them, but I'll give you just a brief explanation of how the classes go. Now, for starters, sorry, I think the AI is trying to show me something. No, I'm not using a different language, thank you. So for starters, we run Saturday classes, okay? Now, this program we are proposing to you, should you decide to join, okay, remember there's a timeline for the special offer. Now, it starts in June, okay? What we are proposing to you now starts in June. It's not right now, okay? It starts in June. So you have enough time, okay? Now, you will have access to, I think I want to go back to some of your other questions before I come back to this one. You have access to the recordings, of course. You have access to your recordings once you attend the class, right? You've paid for it, so it becomes your property. So you have access to recordings. You can always go over the recording. In fact, the recordings make our work easier, right? Now, when it comes to weekdays, because our main classes are weekends, which will be Saturdays, but when it comes to weekdays, what we intend to do is that some weekdays, not all, okay, not every week, but some weekdays, okay, during the process of your training, you are going to have exposure to how to use AI for, let's say, your CV, how to use AI in writing cover letter. You're going to learn some perks on starting a business. You see, so we're going to have all those inculcated. Like I said, it's going to be fixed. You're going to have that idea of how it's going to happen once you've registered. We don't intend to give you all the details right now, but once you're registered, you are going to have in-depth information as to how your course would go. Even the mode of payments for the program, for example, You don't have to pay in one go. You can pay in 2 different payments, you see, during the progression of the course. So there's so many allowances that are available in our program, but
okay. Okay, what? Let me understand. That means if you're saying that the classes are only held on Saturdays, going by the time you are looking at 2-3 months, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, at the end of the day, because you said 1 month is for something like a project, more like an internship sort of thing, right? I say it's
So
only 8
that's
classes.
I haven't mentioned that here today, have
No,
I?
you said 2 months for the lectures and 1 month for the projects, right?
I don't think I have mentioned that today. What you're describing is something different.
Okay. Okay, so what the duration of the training is for 3 months, right?
Duration of the training is 3 months, including your project, yes.
So let me get, maybe I'm not understanding, that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah. So I understand where your question is coming from. I know where your question is coming from, right? But that's a different conversation from what we are having today. So if you notice, even several packages we have are different than what you are familiar with. Remember, we had a conversation yesterday, so that's why I think you're mixing up some information together.
No, it's not what I'm looking at, because I told you that before. Now I had a pre training somewhere, and basically we are doing the classes twice a week, weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and Sunday is like starts from like around 1 or thereabout. So I'm looking at if you are going to do just Saturdays only. That's what I'm looking at.
So remember, that's why I'm saying that you shouldn't mix up the conversation. We had a conversation. You personally want to begin as soon as possible. So we invited you to this call just to have a feel of our offerings. You wanted to begin as soon as possible. So we agreed with you on a particular date when you will start, right? So that is different from what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about right now is that the people on this call that should choose to register today, right? The program starts in June. Your program is not starting in June. Do you remember that information?
I'm saying that maybe I'm getting it wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that you're mixing up the information.
Okay, let me ask again. It's a 3-month course, right?
It's 3 months, yes.
And the lectures are only taken once a week, right?
Yes, please.
Is it different from what we discussed?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right, fine. Okay, let me leave it that way.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. You're welcome. Always happy to answer your questions. So, are there any other questions, even for Tammy or myself?
Any other questions, guys, before we go? Every time we have these sessions, people never want to leave, but we'll leave by force, by fire. But any other questions?
Sir, I heard you mention cybersecurity, and I just want to put it out there that I can take a cybersecurity class.
Send me your number. Send your number on the chat. Because I'm looking for facilitators actually. Send me your just send your number on the chat. Does he help me take note of his number, please? I have somebody who has also said she can do project management, so I need facilitators. So if you can send me or just put your number there, Dozie will take note of it so that I will reach out to you guys. Thank you guys very much for volunteering yourself.
Yeah, really. Thank you. Really. Wonderful. So that's even the beauty of the community, is like everybody's choosing to volunteer to help upgrade other people's skills.
So no questions, right? I hope you guys have filled the form just so you can get more. Dozie, please help me take note of Chidi's number. I hope you guys have filled the form just to be able to get more information. I think we're going to have another session again on the is it 17th or thereabout, but we'll let you guys know exactly when, right? So some of these sessions we'll try and do it for you for free. We'll just bring these facilitators because it takes a lot for us to do this, but that's why we're here. Our focus really is to equip people with skills. Some of these sessions we'll try and do it for free. Some of them will have to be paid for, and some we'll try and see if we can do scholarships. Maybe we can partner with organizations that will be interested in, sponsoring people. That's fine. But the goal is, but we're also saying that, see, you need to take your own self-development seriously. You're developing yourself, right? So it's like when you went to school, right? If you pay money for yourself, it's for yourself. At the end of the day, these skills are skills that you have. Nobody can take it away from you, right? And then depending on how enthusiastic you are, you can do a lot of things. Once you have skills, right, you can do anything with it, right? You can advance, you can begin to set up your own business, you can get more jobs, you can do anything, right? But the first goal is to equip yourself with these skills, right? So I saw one quote somewhere. It said, when you notice that you don't have money, the problem is not anything, is that you lack skills, right? It's not your village people, it's not government, it's just that you lack skills. But once you have the right set of skills, you can only keep going higher. So guys, thank you all very much for being here today. I'm truly grateful. We're grateful. We're hoping that you guys have filled the form and then we can have more conversations. And if you have any questions, you can always ask. If you're on the group, please feel free to ask questions. Feel free to suggest things to us. We're trying as much as possible to come up with more programs that would really, really help people. And that's why we're here. But thank you very much. Thank you to every single person who is in attendance. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Dozier. I see Nifemi, thank you. And every other volunteer that is here, thank you guys very much. Bye, everyone. Dozier can sign us out. Bye, everyone. Have a nice